Ladies and gentlemen, hello friends. Welcome to another episode of the No Contest Wrestling Podcast. I am the heel that you love to hate, O'Shea Jackson Jr., a.k.a. Petty Guerrero.
Hey, yo, it's me. It's the TOO, the JIGG2JG, TJ Jefferson. What's up, yo?
TJ, we got a guest, bro. She's already here.
Yeah,
We're not trying to keep her waiting.
Yeah, we ain't got time for jibber jabber
So,
today.
ladies and gentlemen, please, wherever you're doing, sit down, all right? Because our next guest is wrestling royalty, all right? I'm talking been around the world and you know? She is Rolling Stone had her in 2016 as the number 2 superstar in all of WWE. She is a two-time Royal Rumble winner, Grand Slam champion, but most importantly, a 14-time world champion. TJ, can I get a woo? Charlotte Flair,
yes,
welcome
indeed.
to the No Contest Wrestling Pod.
That was a really good intro.
Thank you. Just want to talk about TJ.
We also forgot bow down and all hell.
Come on, man.
Bow down.
Recognize or step aside. Yeah. Royalty is in the building.
Exactly. Should we put on an English accent because we have the queen?
I won't do that.
Hello, love. Good day, love.
A bottle of water.
Good day.
What?
Cheers, mates.
How you doing today?
How you doing?
I'm good. Just got to Vegas last night.
Nice.
So big week. Feeling good.
Are you tired? I know you've been doing all types of TV and interviews, and are you tired of this yet?
No. I'm not. I think since WrestleMania is our Super Bowl and I know how busy it is, now it's kind of like a walk in the park. I'm like, give me more. This ain't my first rodeo, boys.
Yeah, that's a fact.
This is my 9th rodeo.
That's sick. So how we usually like to start things around here, for anyone who's getting to know you, we as wrestling fans, we know plenty, but we would love to have you speak about when you got bit by the wrestling bug, because it wasn't always your choice. So what was that process of like, oh man, I'm going to go this route?
Oh man. I grew up in wrestling, watching, let me rephrase that. My father was a wrestler.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching my dad in the business. I was his biggest fan. I was the kid that brought all of her friends to the matches when either WCW or WWE was in Charlotte, North Carolina. However, I didn't grow up thinking I was ever going to be in the business. Both my brothers always wanted to be in the business. They always wanted to be exactly who their dad was. Unfortunately, my little brother, who was 2 years younger than me, had a really bad drug addiction. And in my late 20s, when I had been trying to help Reed after college get on the right path, we were at the 4 Horsemen Hall of Fame induction in 2012, and the producer was at dinner with us, with me, Reed, and my dad. That was my little brother's name, Reed. And the producer looked at me and was like, "Why aren't you doing this?" And I kind of like sat there for a second, and Reed was like, "Oh my God, you got to do this. We can do it together." Yada, yada, yada. But really, the whole point of the dinner was for the producer to talk to Reed to get Reed into WWE because he had failed multiple drug tests to get in. I think it was like 2. So long story short, 3 months later, I reported to FCW, which is now NXT, our third brand. It was at the time considered the developmental system. And I started thinking that Reed and I would wind up together in Tampa, Florida. But I really didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know a lot about the business. I knew, I knew the superstars and who I thought was like, oh, that wrestler is cute. But I didn't know the history. I didn't know the culture. I didn't even know what the indies were other than what my brother had been doing. But I didn't know a lot. And if it wasn't for my little brother having this dream of being like my dad or being a professional wrestler, I wouldn't be here today. And I always say this in like short, to sum it all up, I spent so many years trying to save my little brother Reed, but ultimately he saved me with this dream. But unfortunately, 8 months into starting wrestling, he passed away. So I have dedicated my entire career to him.
Man,
That's beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah. I've heard parts of that story before, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
and I've heard you say that like this wasn't even your dream. This was his, but it became yours.
I didn't, but it's funny. Like I didn't really have like I admire my little brother so much, and I admire all the talent in WWE today that grew up saying, "I want to be a professional wrestler. I'm gonna be a professional wrestler," and they work their asses off to become that. Where like I grew up, I was a gymnast, all-star cheerleader, ended up playing volleyball in college. I didn't have dreams or aspirations or something that I really wanted to be or do. And I just admire all the talent that does become what they want to be. But because I was a late bloomer, and when I met the four horsewomen in NXT, which if you're a wrestling fan, you know who I'm talking about, they're really who carved out this career and this passion that I have for professional wrestling, starting with them.
And you didn't just play volleyball. Like, let's not just skim over your accomplishments here, Miss Charlotte.
No, I'm a
couple
much
pickup
better
games.
wrestler than volleyball.
You were you won 2 state championships, though.
No, I was really good in I was really good in high school. I feel like when I graduated high school and my parents separated and I went to college, I feel like my late teens, early 20s, I was very like lost when my parents separated. So like volleyball kind of took a back seat, and then I ended up quitting due to so like different reasons. So I'm definitely a better wrestler than I am volleyball player.
Yeah. Hey, still winning chips.
I mean, I'm saying she's at the top of the food chain when it comes to wrestling. So volleyball, I don't know how you could have been any better.
No, that's
I was just a competitive. Yeah.
when it came to, like, for instance, with myself, getting into acting, following behind my father's footsteps, I didn't want to be an actor, even though I was growing up on sets and things like that. And so when Straight Outta Compton happened, it was the first time my dad ever needed me. And so I felt like, bro, we kind of got to say, yeah. He's never asked us to do anything.
Because he asked you to audition, right?
He said that, the Straight Outta Compton movie it looks like they're taking the NWA movie serious, is what he said. I'm like, oh, man, that sounds great. Like, I'm happy for you. And he was like, no, in a perfect world, I'd want you to play me. But you got to audition and yada, yada, yada. And so that's how I ended up in acting. And like, I just been trying to make it work ever since. But there was a moment that I had where I was like, no, I could do this. Mm-hmm. Like I can kind of see the map to like make this my career. Was there a moment while you're learning the business and the ins and outs where you're like, can you remember when you kind of got that chip on your shoulder, or you kind of got your groove, you got your feet wet, where you're like, oh, I'm a crush?
Yeah, it was my match for the NXT Women's Championship against Natalia. I believe that match was the longest women's match to date WWE had ever produced for women at that time. And when Natty and I had that match for the women's NXT Women's Championship, it definitely put me on the map. And it definitely opened everyone's eyes to, oh, she's just not Flair's kid. Holy cow, she can go.
You can say it if you need
to. Had that match not happened, or had it not been as physical and as good as it was, due to Natty leading me, I don't know if I'd be here today, because that really just opened so many doors for me, and it changed everyone's opinion of me at the time. So that definitely was the biggest game changer early on.
Yeah, I tell people a lot, like the idea of the shadow, or just like that talk of like living in a shadow, is a third party way of thinking. Mm-hmm. It's my family. Like, I don't think like that. I'm not being competitive with how I even got here. Like it didn't really like set a cloud over me until you start like hearing whispers like that. So like, was there a moment where you'd say internally you ever got into your head about that shadow talk, or like you made it a personal thing, like, no, I'm gonna make my own way, or did it just happen naturally?
I think it's still personal. I'm like, wait, hold on. I don't know if it ever went away. Have you met me? I still think I've got that chip on my shoulder.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to get Dinner Thieves 4 before he gets Friday 4 because I want to get to 4 first.
Oh,
but like, it's not like a shadow thing.
It's kind of weird that you said 4.
By the way, this is our second of the 4 horsemen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's Ric Flair. Like he is, but what I admire and not jealousy, jealousy and envy is not the right word, but because my dad is so authentic and true to who he is and doesn't give a beep.
Yeah.
Like he still translates to today. He's timeless, whether it's pop culture, whether it's sports, whether it's wrestling. I just admire that about him. Like it's taken me 9-10 years to like let my walls down and kind of be like who I am in my real life to Charlotte, where I thought Charlotte needed to be like the ice queen, and not saying that I'll never go back to, being that dominant heel again, but like I feel like I can't be in competition with my dad because there'll never be another Ric Flair.
Yeah.
But I think that I have done a good job of taking his legacy and creating my own.
Yeah.
But I still think it's like, and I don't take this in a negative way, but like I'm still Ric Flair's daughter.
100%.
He is not Charlotte's dad. He might be Charlotte's dad to kids that don't know who he is now.
Yeah.
And that is my big, like, that is, you don't have no idea how much that means to me, but I don't think it is a negative that I'm still Ric Flair's daughter, because I'm like, damn, to be that timeless is incredible.
Yeah.
And I think one day I will be that timeless when I'm done with my career. And right now I'm not.
Yeah, because I used to get bothered when you lose your name. Like, I'm named after my dad, and I still lost my name. Like, Ice Cube's son. But then at a certain point, I was like, you damn right. Like, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, like, do you know how hard it is to be Ric Flair's daughter?
Exactly. Bro, that is so...
He has social media, guys, and I can't do anything about it.
The worst is waking up and your dad is the main character of Twitter.
Oh,
my God. It's like, please just relax. But TJ, I'm gonna let you get in, but she just led me to another question.
I know this is, Charlotte, when we started this podcast, that was one thing that Shay really wanted. We knew second generation superstars were so big in wrestling, and him being second generation. So you were one of the first people we wanted initially, because you guys kind of have a similar story. You can say something and not a lot of people can understand the lives that you guys have led based upon who your parents are. So this is, for me, dope to sit back and just watch you guys kind of navigate what your lives have been like.
Yeah, because it's going to be therapeutic. All right? I'm vent a little bit.
I'll be Dr. Melfi here and just take notes.
Talk to me.
Because like there'll be like, all right, when you go into your parents' footsteps and like, they did the business when they did the business. Things change in between that part, right? So, like, a lot of times when my dad would give me advice, I'd be like, I can't do that. I can't just fly home from set and, like, tell them, like, yeah, hit me when you're ready. Like, what year you think it is? And also, like, you don't know what it's like to be your son. There are things that, like, pressures that you put on yourself and, like, real weights of the world stuff, it might not be there for anybody else. But for you, it's like people have an assumption of me or this idea of what I'm supposed to be before I can even make the decision or before I even walk in a room. There's so many times where people are like, oh, I thought you were going to be a jerk. Like, for what? What do you mean? Or like those expectations. So have you, like, what does it mean to you? What pressures had you put on yourself being Ric Flair's daughter?
So it wasn't even pressure, and I don't know why I'm using this word, but it was almost like I had guilt that because I didn't have a tryout, Like, I didn't have to do it. Like, I basically was like, I want to wrestle. And Triple H had the talk with me because he was taking over developmental at the time. And he was like, you know, just because I'm giving you this opportunity doesn't mean I'm going to give your, you know, Reed this opportunity. But, you know, it's also a very hard life. I'm just, like, he gave me, you know, the pep talk. Like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna get you into FCW. And then the guy at the time that was gonna take over developmental for talent, not relations, but I'm just not trying, I can't think of exactly what his title was, but the next contact after Triple H, who I was supposed to talk to, he was like, we're going to treat you the same. You're going to have to abide by the rules and you're going to have to do all these things. And that's kind of when the chip started forming in terms of, well, sir, I am super athletic. I don't know who you think you are. Like, I took it as like, huh? Like, he's telling me all these things where I'm like, I am not problematic. The one thing I do know how to do is work hard. So I think the guilt was that I got in so easy. Like, it wasn't like I got in. But once I got in, what I knew that I was able to do was hustle. Now, I'm not telling you that I knew how to be polished or do my makeup or do my hair or look like a diva or cut a promo. I was actually scared of my own shadow, but I could out condition, I knew, anyone in that ring, even though I didn't know what a move was or how to take a bump, but like I relied on those. So as my career grew and listening to all these stories of these girls, how hard it was on the indies or, you know, spending their last dollar to go to camp or doing all these things, I almost felt guilt where like if I didn't outperform or if I didn't over deliver, if I didn't do certain things, I had this like guilt of like how I got to the dance. And I felt bad when I shouldn't have, or when I debuted in 2015 and I had that run with my dad as my manager, instead of really going in and playing the part of Ric Flair's daughter, I feel like sometimes I look back and I'm like, dang, why didn't I own those aspects of what made me different and being his kid versus trying to be like, no, I'm really good. I'm really good. Would that have made better television? Or would my heel character have been better? But like, obviously there's a reason for everything. And here we are. I can't go back and change it, but, I don't even know what rant I'm going on.
Hey, but no.
It's like I had more guilt of like how I got into the business and what that meant than anything, I think. And my dad not, you know, always being friends with everyone was hard too, because they think, well, oh, because her dad's best friends with the boss, that she gets this. Actually, it's probably harder.
You know, I can remember, I was going to put it out there, I'm a longtime Charlotte Flair fan, probably from the first day that I knew you were wrestling, because that's how it is to me with wrestlers. When I grew up, like watching your dad as a, you know, 10, 11-year-old on Saturday nights, he grew up like, and he meant so much to me as a wrestling fan. I can remember an old Pro Wrestling Illustrated, he had a suit on and he was carrying the NWA belt and a Band-Aid on his head. I took an old piece of linoleum from the bathroom, drew as best as I could the picture of what was on that big globe belt, the dome, the 10 pounds of gold, and I put masking tape on my forehead and my little suit jacket. My mom would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm Ric Flair."
I'm Ric Flair.
She didn't have any idea. Like my grandpa knew. My grandpa knew because we were watching wrestling. But like, so when I hear like Dusty Rhodes has a kid, Ric Flair has a kid, Bob Orton has a kid, I'm just more invested right off the bat because what their parents meant to me, right? So being a fan of yours, it was like I would get into fights on Twitter all the time. You know, and I'm not like this guy. This guy really goes after people on Twitter.
Absolutely, I do.
But it would annoy me when people would say things like, "Oh, well, she's only where she's at because of her dad," and I'd be like, "Okay, all right, that's interesting." Now I can't say this part anymore because it's changed. But I'm like, so if that's the case, then David Sammartino's dad was a legend. He never won the world championship. Cody and Dustin Rhodes' dad, he's a legend. They never were world champion. I would go down the list of all these people that were like, yeah, their dads were legends and they're not world champions. So what makes you think just because her dad was a legend that she's going to be great? No, you could tell. She put the work in. So I was always kind of just yelling into the void about you on Twitter back in the day.
Well, God bless. I thank you. Thank you. Just, I know if you're a true Charlotte Flair fan, there has been some trying years. You've had to really fight those wars online.
Yeah, and so now you bring that up, and we'll get back into that. But like, I have something in particular. So last night I'm going, I'm on Netflix. I'm doing my Charlotte Flair kind of, recap just to see stuff I may have forgotten about. And something in particular came up, and it was when you received the women's championship once the Divas belt got retired. And you had a bunch of women in the ring. Paige was in there, Tamina was in there, Naomi, Lana, Becky, Sasha, Natty. They were all in the ring. And you've got the new belt. And the crowd at that point was just so rough. They were chanting women's wrestling. They were chanting everyone but you. And I could tell now looking at your face that maybe I'm wrong, but you were kind of stunned and you were kind of fighting to find your footing and your position in your promo. Now, as a vet in the game, I've seen you just go out there and rip the crowd apart very easily. But do you remember that moment and what it was like? Because it looked like, as I'm rewatching it last night, that man, she was kind of going through it right now because I don't think she expected the crowd to act that way.
Oh, I don't actually think of the one with Lita, right?
She was, yes.
Yeah, no.
This might be something that's just like you've done so much, but like it was just something.
No, but I also know like I'm so much more sure of myself on the mic now than I was then.
Yeah.
And I think that might have what you might have been just seeing is like me being hella green. Like just like in fairness. Like I just might have not been able to handle like the promo, or I might have been forgetting. Who knows? But I don't think it was that at that particular moment. I don't think it had to do with the crowd on that one.
Okay. All right.
That one didn't have that crowd. No.
Can you remember a time or the moment where, like I said, the feet wet situation was kind of when you started feeling yourself. But, there's a certain thing where you've done something so much that it kind of like getting in that mode and it starts to flow automatic, almost like, when you drive home after a long drive, and then you're like, oh, I was on autopilot. I'm glad nothing happened to me. I can't remember to drive.
Next thing you know, you're in front of the crib. Like, I ain't not even here.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, do you remember when those promos kind of like felt just like breathing? Like when you were locked in officially, like, oh, I got this.
Yeah. When I came back and did the opportunity promo during COVID.
Yeah.
I was out because I got COVID. And then I was out 3 more months. And then I came back. And that was like, unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of title defenses between Ronda, like between when I came back as the opportunity and then Ronda came back and won Rumble. And then there was Mania. But I feel like I was really in the groove when I was like, oh, this is just easy. Was right after that opportunity promo.
You were the opportunity. She's the opportunity.
Yeah. It was kind of it's a lock-in moment. And like, it's something that I wish I would have asked our prior guests, because it's interesting to know when the person and the character finally meet and it's like, oh yeah, they go hand in hand. We're about to murder this. And you are just you just seem so like when I see you planted there, I know like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Like, it's a feeling of just like, all right, there's gonna be something juicy that comes out of this. And that's gotta be really cool for a company to be like, yeah, when Charlotte got to turn that villain on, your shift, I think it was Cleveland, right? Cleveland. It was when just came back, you won the Royal Rumble, and it kind of felt like the crowd kind of shifted on you.
I thought that was a great promo.
Yeah, crushed
yeah,
it.
And even like but even with the crowd reaction, I felt like it wasn't negative or positive. I was like, no, I mean they were negative, but it wasn't like a bad thing to
Yeah.
me. Like I was still able to like, I don't know. I actually thought that was like one of my best promos.
As a fan, it kind of looked like you came out there happy to see everybody, and then when you saw like, all right, y'all want the
y'all
queen?
gonna piss me off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And the queen came on. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's impressive to see.
But I like, yeah, that was fun. That was a good one. Yeah.
Okay, now I want to talk about, because I mentioned earlier you're a 2-time Royal Rumble winner. What was it like being in your first Rumble, one of the first ever women's Rumbles, and what's going through your head when you know, like, I'm coming out on top of this?
I didn't even know if I was going to be on WrestleMania that year. That was the year we went into COVID, right?
Yeah.
Was that my first Rumble? Yeah. I didn't even know if I was going to be on WrestleMania that year. And then finding out later that week that I was going to win it. I just remember that promo after that Rumble. I was like, listen, ladies, this is still my division. And I felt I meant, and I felt every word of that promo.
Let's see. This is when we gotta go back and look at these, because knowing that now, it's a little bit more oomph behind watching.
Because all I said was, yeah, this is still my division, and we're going to WrestleMania.
It's like you're out of the Rich Eisen show. You come back and like, oh, I'm still employee of the month. Get out of here, bro. I'm running this place.
It ain't even a question, as Ja Rule once said. I got something for you, Charlotte. You mentioned your dad, of course. But when was the moment, you as a young girl, when did you realize, wait a second, my dad's Ric Flair?
You're like,
College.
It took solid. Yep.
College?
Freshman year of college. Because I really I know my dad was Ric Flair and things were like a little different, but I really was a homebody. And I didn't grow up. I mean, I grew up playing sports. So that's a very different mindset than wanting to be famous or beauty pageants or I didn't know. All I knew was team sports, and I hung out with my teammates. And we always had the parties at my house. Which,
absolutely.
You know what I like? So junior, senior year, where's the party at till 3? It's like,
yeah, we're going.
So I did everything at home.
Yeah.
So, and because Charlotte, yes, now Charlotte's a lot bigger, but if you go to Charlotte tomorrow and you ask 20 people, where are you from? They're not, maybe. Actually, I guarantee you none of them are going to say Charlotte. So it was small. So everyone knew who my dad was. And also Arn Anderson was there. Bobby Eaton was there. Ricky Steamboat was at there were other wrestlers in the territory. At one point, Dusty was there. So he wasn't that big of a deal because everyone was used to him. But when I went to Appalachian State my freshman year in the middle of nowhere, Boone, North Carolina, and I was like, yeah, my dad's Ric Flair. That's when I was like, oh, he's cool.
Yeah, my dad was
beer bust at the Moon Tower.
My dad was definitely the key to the door of a lot of frat parties.
I bet.
On the road at USC.
Yeah.
But the same thing, I didn't really get what it meant for him to be Ice Cube until I was 18. I went on tour with him, and this guy in the front row was like, give your dad this. And he gave me a card. He was like, I was heavy, into drugs, into the gang life out here. Listening to your dad's music helped me become a doctor. And I was like, damn, he probably just wrote this in the kitchen. It's whatever song it was, but people need him. And I was like, that's pretty cool. You're all right. Yeah. So I feel that around college, freshman year of college, same thing. It's just it's our dad.
It's our dad. You don't I yell at him, he yells at me. he might be like, damn it, I'm Ric Flair. I'm like, sir, you are dad.
Yeah,
Simmer down.
your dad. A question I know you have to always get, but I've kind of run out of ways to answer it on my end when they're like, so what's it like? What's it like being Ice Cube's son?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. You know, like,
You have no way to really answer that.
Yeah, like what's he like at home? He likes to eat cereal at night, you know, watch sports. It's not like there's nothing too crazy about it. How many times or my other favorite, do you ever get hit with hey Charlotte, where's Rick? I don't know, man.
In timeout. That's where he's at.
It's in timeout.
Yeah, man. It's just dad.
No, I get it. They're like, he's just dad.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but like you said, he probably isn't eating cereal, but he's definitely watching sports. That he loves sports. My dad, if he ever wanted to be, really could be a sports commentator, men's and women's. So I just had my birthday in Miami, and my dad was texting. He's like, honey, I'm headed back to Tampa. And I'm like, so you're not going to like hang out at the pool with me today?
Yeah.
He's like, no, the women's national championship basketball game is on. I got to make it back. And I'm like, I mean, I get that. Like, respect. No, like, he loves sports.
Yeah.
So he's just typical.
That's
And then we have a picture of you guys. This was at your birthday party, right?
It was at my birthday, yeah.
Okay. I mean,
and then I got
Ric
to see
Flair,
50
man.
Cent play later.
oh, word? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the pictures that you posted up. Looked like there was a good time. You, Jade, and Kiana. You know, you guys definitely go to the gym together. I think that's one thing that can be said without a question.
Well, Jade's lifting both of us, so I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah, my mama called Kiana secretary. Every time she see her, oh, secretary. Oh, secretary.
She's the sexiest. I wouldn't want my husband to have her as a secretary.
Charlotte, I read a story that you were saying when you first went down to FCW, they gave you paperwork to fill out. And Norman Smiley gave you some paperwork. And they asked you about your background, blah, blah, blah. And if you knew anybody in the business.
I put Pops.
Yeah.
And then, so what was the thought? I remember I read that you were kind of like not sure what to write there. Then you wrote that. And then did Norman come back
It was
to you?
like I don't know how to explain it, and maybe you'll understand me. But I just was like, is it weird to put Ric Flair?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I was being humble by putting Pops, but then like now 10 years later, I'm like, and by the way, Norman and I are like this now.
Yeah.
So it but he was just like, no one knew what to expect. I mean, you have to understand, wrestling obviously was so different than new takeover. Triple H had just taken over, and here Ric Flair's kid is coming in, who's never done the indies. They've never heard anything about her. She walks in, no tryout, and then here I am putting Pops on a piece of paper. It really wasn't meant to be like, Pop. Like, I really was trying to be like humble. I don't know, but like Norman was like, I don't know who Pops is.
So
I mean, now I'm his favorite. But I'm one of his favorite. He has many wrestling daughters. But yeah, I just
For him to grab the paper and be like, I don't know who Pops is. Come on, dog.
like
you know when you feel your whole face and body turn red? When he sat that piece of paper and goes, I don't know who Pops is. I was like,
daggers.
I was like, oh God.
Yeah, your ears get hot.
Yes, my ears were hot. Exactly. That's how embarrassed I was. Oh, it's terrible.
So something we were talking about earlier, Shay, you were talking about like, people asking about your dad and blah, blah, blah. And Charlotte, before we even started, you were saying something about it's weird for you as a woman. And maybe you could share that what you had told us.
Oh, it doesn't bother me anymore. But what really bothered me early in my career was like, why does she look like Ric Flair in a wig?
Oh.
And I'd be like, who am I supposed to look like?
Right, exactly.
Am I supposed to look like Dusty?
Right.
Like, who cool. Like because I played sports and I'm proud of how far I've come and like becoming polished and, you know, branding and the looks, whatever it is. But like coming from sports, I never thought about what I looked like or beauty or muscles or like things like that. So when people were criticizing me for looking like my dad, I really I kind of struggled with it a little bit. No, I did struggle with it, but now no. But I was just like, who do you want me to look like?
Yeah,
right.
I never understood that.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier. You know, it's just like for some reason, people held you to this really weird standard, right? She couldn't just be an excellent wrestler, right? She couldn't just be really good at what she does. There was always had to be a reason,
right?
You know, it was because she was someone's daughter, or you know. So I can understand that, like we said earlier, there have been times the crowd has not been as kind to you as a performer that they should be, based upon, I guess they feel that they can say these things. But I don't know why.
I should have been a better performer to where I should have owned it more, and I didn't. Because I should have never catered to wanting their approval, when like what really would have made me dominant has been like, y'all wish you was me. I was born with a silver spoon. What you gonna do about it?
Right.
Had I had that energy, instead of being like, I'm sorry for being Rick's daughter, but I work really hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I had that energy instead of the other energy.
The FU energy.
Yeah, and I really like wish I could have. I mean, I can't change it now, but I really wish in those earlier years had I been like, man, what if I just come out there and been like, yep, I didn't have to do a damn thing. Actually, I asked for the title. I demanded little things like that.
Right. Because because Charlotte, you know, the wrestling fans, and we're on wrestling Twitter a lot, so we know this. When people would, you know, the anti-Charlotte Flair fans who we told you, I get into it with them all the time, they would make it seem like wrestlers book the show themselves.
Right.
Like, well, Charlotte's going to make herself win. I'm like, do you guys claim to know wrestling? You should know how this works. She's not making herself win these matches all the time. She's not making herself the champion. She's getting these opportunities because she is better than most. That's why. It makes sense.
Where did we learn? But where did people forget, like, in order to have your favorite good guy, you have to have the bad guy you hate.
Look, this is what I've been bringing it up on the show recently.
Like, it's 101.
Yes.
Yeah. And we got all these smart wrestling fans who act like they know everything and don't even get
smarter
the most
than everybody
basic concept.
WrestleMania 35, I had so many questions and interviews like, hey, how cool was it that you demanded a helicopter for your entrance?
Wow.
And I was like, I mean, I love that people think that I had that kind of power.
Yeah.
But I mean, actually, I should just roll with it. Yeah, I demanded a helicopter.
100%.
Because they are going to believe that anyway. So you might
I laughed so hard last week. Bailey was like, are you coming in on a helicopter for our fatal four-way, Shar? Like,
why yada.
Why yada.
Hey, well, speaking of Bailey real quick, let's bring her up since I'm wearing this shirt. Lodestone! Talk to us about it. What was Lodestone like? We've heard from her. We've heard from wrestlers like Nikki Blackheart, but I know I saw pictures of you there, and I know that must have been wild to have for those women to have you show up. So tell us a little bit about Lodestone and the part you played.
Yeah. So I saw Bailey put up something on Twitter about girls signing up for a camp that she was putting on, and I immediately texted her and said, hey, if you want some help or want me to come to whatever you need, I'd love to be a part of it. And she ended up reaching out to me the week the camp was supposed to start and was like, I'd love you to be there the first day. Can you come here? And I was like, absolutely. Came and had coffee with the girls and then worked out with them. And Bailey really is just such a special person. And what she's doing with that group of girls and giving them the platform and the opportunity to learn, and the effort that she put in getting, main roster talent all the way up to John Cena at that school or at the camp that she hosted. It's incredible. And I was just so honored that she invited me to be a part of the little magic that she was creating. And I know it's going to continue, and it's really cool.
Hey, that year one Lodestone class has so much to brag about. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, because
Charlotte was first day.
Charlotte,
day,
Cena,
Charlotte was there.
Bianca
Cena
was there
for 8 hours,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
my God, dude,
and
what a brag!
And you got to realize, though, out of that group, man, there's probably going to be no less than 4 world champions, maybe, that come out of that group. I don't know the skill level of everyone,
and they were from all over the world.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Also, what was so cool about that.
so you're going to have to assume, there's a next generation of female superstars that, are going to take something that you told them, and they're probably going to try to use it against you in a match.
Oh my goodness, TJ.
I'll take it. I'll bring it. Bring it, baby.
Love it. Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
All right, so.
But also, too, like, testament to Bayley, all the people that she invited all wanted to show up just as much for the girls, but they wanted to show up for what Bayley was doing because they really believe in her and her passion and just everything that she brings to the table. So just that as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're big Bayley fans here, and we got to talk to her up in Stanford at the 2K26 release, and we both told her, like, I don't know. I understand to a part, as much as an outsider can understand how wrestling works, right? But I also feel like Bayley is criminally underrated.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could use her in a better position. I'd love to see more from her, but she seems to be the type who loves to wrestle, loves to help put people over. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. Like I said, as much as an outsider can understand.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like sometimes they give Bayley the short end of the stick, and we don't like that.
I mean, as fans, there are the dominant people that, you might not hear a lot of conversation about, that they come in, do what they do, knock it out, and, their career might be viewed in a different light. But then there are people who love it and want to push it forward. And we know pushing it forward in wrestling, some L's come with that.
Yeah.
Pushing the next generation forward. So it's a different, as a Bayley fan, because we know the person, it kind of quells us and pacifies us because we know, like, she's doing what she loves.
I mean, I
but
don't
as
really
a character,
know the
it's like, come on, dog. I need some hardware around here. So it's weird. It's weird. It's tough being a 4-horsewoman fan anywhere.
Well, not really.
I mean,
as a 4-horsewoman fan, I think wrestling has been fantastic over the last.
Look at the arguments you got to put in as a fan of either 4.
That's true. That's true. Well, speaking of Bayley, got something big coming up. That's WrestleMania 42. You are going to be in the tag team championship match. You, with your partner Alexa Bliss, former champions, going up against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, against the Bella Twins, and against the champions, Lash Legend and Nia Jax. So tell us, Miss Charlotte Flair, what should we expect out of this match at WrestleMania?
This is the most stacked Fatal 4-Way WrestleMania has ever seen. And what I think is so special when you look at that graphic is think of all the history in there. Yeah. All the different stories that could eventually happen or tell within that graphic. Like, everyone has history. Even with Lyra and Lash being the newbies of the group, it really is past, present, future. And going into Mania with Lash and Nia as champions, I think it's anyone's game. Lexi and I are a well-oiled machine.
And you are friends now, right? You are friends now?
I mean, we're convenient. I mean, we're best friends, okay?
Okay.
So,
there it is.
I just think with every team, I mean, really anyone could walk out champion on Saturday.
Yeah, that's
I think
what you want from
that's
Mania.
like, I think, yeah, there's no one favorite to win. I think everyone has a special and specific edge to them. So it'll be interesting.
So when Monday comes around, though, the headlines are going to say, "What about this match?"
It's going to say Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are the 2-time women's tag team champions.
Absolutely.
That is what it's going to say.
Woo!
The greatest tag team in wrestling history. Yeah, I said it, Bailey.
Woo!
Clock it.
Man,
I mean, between the two of us, there's how many titles? 25?
oh my
26?
I'm better at English words than math. I can't count that high. I don't think.
God. Hey, it's all right. You ain't got that many fingers. You weren't supposed to.
That's true. That's true. Well,
yeah, we're getting the wrap up, Charlotte. Or, you know, we have obviously a ton more we can ask you. We got to get you back on NCW when it's not Mania week and you can just kick it and chill.
because we could go 2 more hours with you. To be
Yeah,
honest
man, we
with
didn't
you.
get our bar
We
fight.
need to do it
you know,
in studio, though, so I'm not in like an all-white, half-made-up
Yeah.
America.
So if
It was
you're
like a nice commercial.
Yeah, you find yourself in Los Angeles. You're now family. We'll let you know where the spare key is. You come in,
Deal.
let yourself in, put your feet on the couch. You know.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Well, good luck
Yes.
this week.
Thank you, guys.
You know, I don't know if you knew this. Today, Cody Rhodes was on, I think, with Get Up with Stephen A. Smith. He gave his top 5 WrestleMania performers of all time, and you were on that top 5. So, yeah.
I got 3 text messages about that, about Cody saying that, and I sent him a text. That meant a lot to me. It really caught anytime one of the top male performers in our industry and what Cody has done and what he means and being the face of WWE right now to say that about me. It's probably the biggest endorsement you can get. So it meant a lot.
Well, you are also a face of WWE. Don't forget that either.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
You better believe it.
I tell him that too.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the Queen right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlotte. We really appreciate
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we got to get you in and sit down. We'll clean the place up. We'll make it look nice for you. We got you. We'll take care of you.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. I'm going to wear my Kobe shirt, though.
Woo!
This man already loved you, and now you just gave him a heart attack. You see?
My moon and my stars. Oh my God.
Yep. I'll wear my Kobe tank top.
Absolutely. Oh, it's gonna be like
man.
down in here.
Charlotte Flair, everybody.
Charlotte Flair, man.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
I mean, we could have gone on 2 hours.
They know who we are. They know we could have gone on forever.
Right.
You know, it's
But that was really dope to get to chop it up with her a little bit. There's so much history there with her. And but I meant what I said, man. These fans, sometimes they get on her and like, what do you want?
yeah,
Because she's really good and now you're mad about it?
right.
Like, what's she supposed to do? Not be an excellent professional wrestler?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
and you know, there was a big chunk of the interview where it wasn't necessarily wrestling based, but you know, I've been dying to talk to one of these second, third generation stars and really get their perspective on a life that I can't really share with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's exciting to be able to kind of like, all right, so how did you handle that? All right, so how did you move through that? And like, I got a daughter who will go through the same thing, and so like, there's a little thing that people don't know about me. A few do, but I have a notebook that I've been writing in since my daughter was 4.
okay.
And when she's like 13, 15, I'm going to finally give it to her. And it's just stuff that I
she's
learned
done.
on the way that like, when this happens, this usually means this. Like, you know, just like almost like a manual to what she's going to have to deal with in life.
Do you also put in there just like funny things that happen between the two of you? Like just as a complete
I like
memoir?
everything is dated and like,
yeah.
you know, it's stuff like that. And it'll be like my gift to her. And yeah, I'm like maneuvering through what it's like to be a second generation was something my dad couldn't tell me.
Yeah.
So like being her dad, I got to let you know, like this is
she's
what's
gonna be
going to
30,
go down.
so.
Yeah. So it's to have the opportunity to speak with somebody about those similar things. This was the only conversation I had with Kobe was about the same thing. And yeah, it was just cool to get her perspective on thing and laughed, and it's the same layout, and there's nothing you can do but accept it and use it.
Yeah.
Use it to in her situation, being a heel, those type things, like that's juicy. It's why I call myself the heel that you love to hate. Because I decided to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna be the jerk you think I am. That's for you.
At home.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to
man.
appreciate everybody's time for letting me get those off.
Yeah, like I told Charlotte, that was part of when we started this podcast. We understood that you had this unique perspective that a lot of people don't. Like I won't say the actor now because I'll save that for another day. But one day I was hanging out with an older actor, and he told me randomly, I met so and so for the first time the other day, and I was like, wait, what do you mean? You guys have? These are two prominent actors. And he's like, we may have been at the same party at some point. He goes, but we never actually met. And then he's like, I met him at one of those shops on Rodeo. And I was like, what was that like? He goes, well, it was interesting. He goes, because he's one of the few people on earth who understand what my day-to-day is like. And I understand what his day-to-day is like. So a lot of people don't have that perspective. And I was like, yeah. So that made sense for us to want to do that, because you guys, you're saying Nepo Baby's up $1 billion.
Up $1 billion.
People in the wrestling world who have the same stories, you guys have different lives in the rest. I mean, it's true. Like, and it's not a knock on any of you. So to hear your perspectives, because it's not all sweet. It ain't always all sweet. It's like, maybe you don't have to worry about, the rats and the roaches like everybody, but you still got problems. You still have issues growing up as a kid. So it's cool to be able to get that kind of, conversation between you and that person the way you did with Charlotte today. I found pretty cool.
Yeah, and I want to have Randy on. Another thing before the comments start going crazy, Dominic Mysterio was not going to talk to us about Rey Mysterio in the way that I needed Charlotte to.
Yeah, we figured that out before the interview even started. Like literally about a minute before I said something to him about his mom, he goes, I don't know, I left that Hall of Fame. I was like, I'm going to take all my notes here and rip these up.
So this was really the first opportunity to speak with somebody who
other than Lexus King.
Yeah. But even so, his had to be cut short, unfortunately, and her dad is still doing it while her career starts. And
Braun Breaker as well.
Yeah. So it's like Charlotte was, with everything that she's already done, it just was great to get, number one, a lady's perspective too.
Yeah, right.
A lady's perspective about all of that was great. We'd love to talk to Randy about it. Rock, Roman,
Jimmy J. There's so many.
Like to just have a sit down. Cody, got to know how they push through it, because the wrestling life, a lot like the rap life, you're on tour. But when I was born, my dad second career started. Movies. So now he's doing movies and touring. So where did you find out who the man was, what he means to other people, and how did you move through it?
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me, man. Very interesting. And I hope you guys find it interesting too. Now that we are talking to y'all, our day ones, if you will.
So I know a lot of people are probably going to sit there, well, where's the WrestleMania talk? Well, we decided we're going to kind of save that.
Yeah, because we got something to do.
Because we got, on Friday, we will be hosting ESPN2's pre-show coverage of WrestleMania 42, where we will have a few guests. I'm not sure if we're privy enough, if we're allowed to say the guests now, but we do have a few guests.
We can tell you one thing. They're WWE superstars.
They are, and no, because that would give it away. Just know that we will have some guests. We'll be on ESPN2. We'll put out on Twitter and Instagram the exact time and everything. But we're going to save all those WrestleMania thoughts for, man, it just now hit me. We're going to Vegas and we're going to be there in front of ESPN cameras chopping it up about WrestleMania, man. Wow.
Bro,
congratulations, my G.
I am in sunglasses and a WNBA baseball jersey. I got to be feeling good about myself.
And as I pointed out to Charlotte, I'm wearing the Lodestone Wrestling Academy. Shout out to Bailey and all the people that took part on this. Man, what a great idea.
Absolutely, man. Second time on the channel.
Yeah.
Second time on the Dose.
That'll be Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be, this will air on Thursday on the Dose. And by the way, I know you guys probably just heard the pod right now or watching it on YouTube, but We would really appreciate it if you would just happen to change the channel to go see No Contest when it airs on ESPN2.
Yes, on Thursday. So
On Thursday.
check your local listings. I think last week I messed up. I saw 2 and I thought it was 11 here and 2 Eastern, but no, it was literally 2 o'clock. So yeah, just check your local listings. Tune in, watch No Contest Wrestling on ESPN2, and make sure our numbers get up so we can
just
keep
turn
doing
the TV on and walk away. You don't have to see it again. Just
turn
it on.
I put 2 TVs on and then left to get lunch.
I might go to my neighbor's house, turn their TV on.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit everybody in my apartment.
Never met them in my life. But anyway,
Yeah.
tell them where to find us besides ESPN2.
So besides ESPN2 on Thursday,
it's Thursday.
you want to see us on socials, you know what to do. Go to Twitter/X at There's No Contest.
Talk to 'em.
Instagram, No Contest Wrestling Podcast. TikTok, No Contest Wrestling Pod.
Whoa.
You can also hear us on ESPN platform, on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, can't forget about Friday. You can watch us on Friday, too.
On ESPN2.
Yeah, man. Live from... Not live.
Viva Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. We will be in
we're going to
Vegas,
be
man.
there. We're going to be taking in the sights and the sounds of Vegas.
Yep.
2 nights of WrestleMania. You know, and I think the great thing is we all know WrestleMania is the end of some stories and the beginning of others. So I know a lot of people are in their feelings right now about celebrities being involved and
Hate
this, that,
those
and the
celebrities,
third.
man.
But
I swear.
The fact is, you got to understand whether we like it or not. Celebrities have always been a part of WrestleMania from the very first one until this one. You might not like the involvement, but when it's all said and done and the matches get on, that's what we need to, as fans, concentrate on, that in-ring action. And we're going to get 2 nights of hopefully some great matches. And Monday, you know, the entire wrestling world will be shook up. And
shook up.
Can't wait to see. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
I like you, Clarence. Always
Gotta
have.
get them celebrities out of wrestling. Who the hell who care about a celebrity involved in wrestling?
Well,
Can't stand them. Burn them all, I say. Yes.
Well, until Friday,
Yeah.
when we will be in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm TJ Jefferson.
I am O.J. Jackson Jr. Make sure you have a good day, but not too good. Who the hell you think you are?
Right? Bye, Miss Parker.
Bye, Miss Parker.